Wes is joining us from Port Coquitlam. Wes, I understand you work in a craft brewery.
Yeah, I work at Tin House in Poco, and
great.
I've done pretty much every job that there is to do with the brewery. I helped build the brewery and then moved into the front of house and worked the counter. I've worked with the brewmaster brewing beer and worked on the canning line. And I really appreciate your guest kind of giving people a little bit of a look behind the veil on how this all works. You know, Molson moved from downtown Vancouver out to Chilliwack a few years ago. And part of that move for them was updating their facility so that it could be more automated.
Yeah.
So in the case of a large brewer, that, like he was talking about, that whose incremental taxes haven't gone up, they're actually using less people than they were a number of years ago because a lot of the system is automated. Whereas almost all of the craft breweries in BC, for all of the jobs that need to be done, there's a human involved in it. So not only are they not paying as much on the remittance side for the taxes for producing the beer, but they're also not creating as many jobs as they used to. And so, you know, the government supporting the craft brewers by changing the tax regime would also allow them to hire more people. And then those taxes are going back and money is being spent in our own communities. Yeah. So the craft breweries really produce way more jobs in the province than any of the large producers. And really important to keep that in mind when we're talking about how the tax regime impacts the businesses.
Wes, can I ask you quickly before we get to Ken, do you expect that you'll have to raise your prices?
Most definitely. I mean, all of the costs that have happened over the last number of years, and you know, all those inflationary costs that everybody else has been seeing have been borne by all of the businesses in BC as well. And you know, so at a certain point, as your I'm not even going to call it profit margin, because for a lot of us, we're not even at the profit point. The margin is getting squished by those additional costs going up, and you know, a 25% increase in an important thing like a can can't be, you know, eaten by the business. It's going to have to get passed along to the consumers, and then that makes it harder because now our product is even more premium as compared to the macro brewers. And so when people are, you know, penny pinching and they go into the liquor store and they're looking at a choice of a six-pack of something that is able to be produced en masse versus a smaller product like ours, unfortunately, we're going to lose out. And, you know, that's not helpful, again, when the local businesses are pumping money into the local economy through a various number of ways. So, yeah.
All right, Wes, appreciate your call. Thanks very much. Ken, what do you think?
Yeah, great points, Wes. We employ about 5,500 people in the 220 plus breweries in the province. I don't know the estimate for that for the large breweries, but the point of the breweries are very technical, and they do not have a lot of people on the floor like they used to, like a craft brewery. And so from that point of view, it's probably 5 times more, I bet, that we do in employment. And he's exactly right. So many people are working in the business, not on the business. The owners are pouring beers. The owners generally be the brewers. They used to have brewing teams and they worked on recipes. Now they're brewing. And that's an unfortunate situation. And the hospitality side of that is none of the major breweries have tasting rooms. We have massive tasting rooms with a whole bunch of front-end staff. If the brewery closes, they have to go to the restaurants. And we know the situation with restaurants in small communities. 55% of our breweries are in rural areas. So they tend to, we're spoiled in Vancouver with so many breweries and neighborhoods, but in some places it's just one brewery.
Yeah.